Shalom. I'm Rabbi Nathan Davidovich speaking to you on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. The holiday of Chanukah begins Sunday night, and it lasts for 8 days. Hanukkah is the holiday for the Jewish people of Emunah, faith in God, and trust in God. Briefly, we remember the story of Hanukkah, where the Greeks wanted to take away all spirituality from the Jewish people. They didn't want to kill the Jews. They wanted to get the Jews to keep from worshiping God, believing in the one God, and fulfilling the commandments. So they prohibited religious practices. So Yehuda Maccabee and the Hashmoneans, they rose up against them, a small band of Jews together to attack the greatest army in the world at that time, the Greek army, and to overcome them. And there's great military victory. At the end of the victory, one of the things that the Greeks had done is they wanted to defile the holy temple, the Beis Hamikdash. And what they did is they brought unclean things in there so that it couldn't be used. They took away the oil for the lighting of the Menorah. And when the Jews finally reclaimed it, they wanted to light the Menorah, but there was no oil that hadn't been contaminated by the Greeks. You had to have pure oil that was tahor, not contaminated. And they found one little vial of oil, and they lit it the first night, and then from that little vial of oil, the little amount that was in that little container, they used for the next night, and it lasted for 8 nights. And that's why it's called the Hanukkah of the holiday of Emunah in God, trust in God. What's this about the oil and the light? We know that we have a commandment to light the Hanukkah menorah for 8 days, 8 nights. The miracle that occurred was that the oil lasted for not only the 1 day it was supposed to be, but for a total of 8 days. The main commandment that a Jew has to observe on Hanukkah, in addition to lighting the candles, is to say Hallel, to thank God for the miracles. Contrary to Purim, where the wicked Ahasuerus wanted to destroy the Jewish people physically, here the Greeks wanted to destroy them spiritually. And God gave us not only a miracle, a military victory, but a spiritual victory. And when we read in the prayers of on Hanukkah in the Shemona we read the prayer Al Hanisim. It talks about the miracles that God gave for us. And it doesn't concentrate on the military victory. The prayer, as is found in the prayer book, says that after these events, when we had the few against the many, the unclean against the clean, those who followed the Torah, those who didn't. And then it says after that, we were able to come into the Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple, and we cleaned it out, we made it pure again, and we were able to light the candles, and we were able to light the light that lasted for 8 days. And then after that happened, 1 year later, after the events, the sages decreed this to be a holiday forever, because they recognized that the light that occurred there would occur every single year. And the commandment that we have about the Hanukkah lights, it says you're not allowed to use them to read by or do anything else by, ela lerotam bilvad, to look at them alone. When you look at the light of Hanukkah, the Hanukkah lights, what you see, if you really concentrate and pay attention to these lights, you'll get a glimpse of the organus, the holy light that God created the world with. On the first day, not the sun. Sun didn't come till the fourth day. On the first day, this light which you could see from one end of the world to the other, and it was hidden away for the righteous in the generations to come. And it's also available when you're looking at the lights of the menorah, you're able to see this organus, you're able to see the very light that was lit in the Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple. In fact, when you light the menorah with the proper intentions of fulfilling this commandment and showing the world God's trust and how God runs everything, you were as if you were standing in the Beis Hamikdash, you're making your home a Beis Hamikdash. There's an interesting question that is asked by the Beis Yosef of the Taz, the Tarzav. And he says, if there's enough oil for the first night, then why do we celebrate 8 nights? The miracle is only 7 nights. So the Taz answers with a story from the Book of Kings. It tells a story about a woman who approached the prophet Elisha and complained about her debts, and the creditors wanted to take her 2 sons into servitude. And then Elisha asked, what do you have in your house? And she says, I have some oil. So he said, go and borrow empty vessels from your neighbors and pour the oil into these vessels. And miraculously, no matter how many vessels she got, the oil kept flowing until all the vessels were filled with oil. And then she was able to pay off her debtors. The Holy Zohar explains that the reason this miracle occurred is because this woman had a drop of oil in her home. If she had nothing in her home to begin with, the blessing wouldn't flow, because when nothing is there, the blessing will not come to create something new. But if there's a tiny drop, the blessing can increase it. And so it was, the Taz says, when the priests lit the menorah in the Beis Hamikdash on the 25th of the Hebrew month of Kislev, for the first night, the oil wasn't completely consumed. A little of the oil miraculously remained. That was the miracle, until the morning. And because it remained till the morning, there was then oil to put into the next part of the menorah for the second night. And if it had been completely consumed the first night, there wouldn't have been any left. So they realized that this miracle really occurred on the first night, because without that oil staying till the next morning, a little bit of it, nothing would have happened. And Rav Biederman brings a story from Rabbi Leib about somebody who had 10 crates full of gold coins. 9 were stolen and 1 wasn't. So with the remaining gold coins, this person hired the police and to search for the 9 stolen crates. And he gave them an incentive. He said if the gold was discovered, he would give 3 gold coins from each box to charity. He eventually found the gold coins, and as he had promised, he gave to charity 27 gold coins, 3 from each box. But the Rabbi, the person in charge of charity, said, wait a minute, we need 3 gold coins from the 10th one. Man said, well, the 10th one wasn't stolen. I'm thankful to God that he gave back the 9. Why do I have to thank God for something that wasn't stolen? So the Rabbi told him, had the 10th crate also been stolen, you would not have had any money to pay for the search. The fact that it wasn't stolen is part of the miracle, and you should thank Hashem for that too. The message that we learn from Hanukkah is to thank Hashem for all the miracles we receive, and not just wait till we have serious problems and God saves us from these problems, but realize that all the good that we have, all the good we get, we shouldn't take for granted. They are all miracles, and we should constantly thank Hashem for them. I wish that all of us share together and spread the light of Hanukkah to light up the darkness in the world, so that people will see that there really is light completely surrounding us. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody a wonderful Hanukkah, Hanukkah Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom.